Welcome to Cards I Would Pick Up February 2021 edition. I love doing these every single month where we kind of take a look at what's coming on out here, kind of go, all right, should we approach this? Is it worth it? Make sure you guys subscribe so I can communicate with you guys and tell you guys what's coming out. A lot of people are always like, Robbie, what do I buy? Hey, what do I do? Hey, what do I do? Is it worth it? Usually, yes. All right. A lot of people do pretty well in these sorts of things. So let's dig on into this bad boy, shall we? One crumb of subscribe, please. Number one on our list here is going to be Adagnister. Now, I've been gung-hoing this so frickin' hard for you guys. I've been talking about this for so long. They just got their Link 1 in Japan. Actually out of Lightning Overdrive, and everybody's like, but it's up for the reprint, Robbie. I don't understand. These card prices are a literal joke when it comes down to things. Alright, like, what are you really worried about? The field spell you play max 2 of, which is Island, alright, and I think I saw them go down to like $15. Okay, so there's $30. The Light and the Fire ones, which are all the essential 1-card combos, I think they bottomed it back out under $8 per copy. So, what is that? $24, $24 plus, what is that? 30? Like $70? And that's for the core. Alright, everything else is cheap. Alright, so you're going to need some code talkers to fill in the rest of the stuff. I really do have high plans for this deck. Yes, we are missing a Link monster that does help. You can play without it. But at this point, which is what the Heat Soul, to pay the 1,000 to draw the card, the OCG builds are a little bit more control heavy. They're using the Heat Soul. You can extra link your opponent, and then there's Dark Fluid. Don't try to go down the Dark Fluid path for picking them up. I'd spend like the dollar, grab 1 or 2, and call it a day. You can make it, but as for price tags are concerned, having original print on this stuff for a potential tier 1 deck, I like it. I like it quite a lot. All right. So, yeah, it is up for a potential reprint somewhere along the way, and I understand that, but looking at this stuff, we do prefer our OG prints where we can. So be prepared, pay attention for this, and we'll really see where the Adagnister hype goes. I really have a lot of faith in this deck. Next up, we have Brigade. Now, I said months ago that you should have bought Brigade. Alright, had you listened to me then? You got Frock Dolls at, $5? $5. Alright? Now we look at this core and we're like, oh, Frock Dolls are $13. That's $39 for what? An ultra rare? And then you need Shrugs, which I think are 7s at the moment. I still have faith in this deck right now because Kit is coming out. Alright? Kit enters the fray. It's a super rare. The whole thing that, for those of you that seem to be confused as to how Kit helps this deck, Kit is an extender for the graveyard dumping. And you're like, well, wait a minute. It's a graveyard dump. It loads 1 more material into the graveyard to help you advance Link Summon. So typically, you'll dump something to the graveyard through some sort of card ability. And you'll drop Kit. Kit's skill will activate when it's sent to the graveyard. You get to send another one. So then you can send the Nerval, and then Nerval will trigger. Automatically off of that mill, you've set up for a Link 2 already. They currently do not have a Link 1. So with that being said, though, you have to kind of put this into perspective for yourself. So Kit gave them that additional extender dump, which actually helps the strategy, which was something that they needed. All right, so for playing Kit in your deck, you get the extra +1 Link material for Link climbing for producing results for, say, if you just open up like a basic ass monster. So that being said, Brigade is quite the worthy investment if you want to play. I would put this deck at probably tier 2. The boards that can make are really, really good, and they're still continuing to get support as each and every set is going on at this point in time. So do with that information what you will. I think that it's going to be worth it. Now I have to plug Alpha, Master of Beast here for a second. This card has been out for a year at this point in time, and the card has had 0 impact on the metagame. It was cited for a little bit. I think we saw it at another point where it was kind of worth it. and a lot of people are like, it's not worth it. As I'm making this video, I saw them down to $21. Alright, now, this card is the walking, ticking time bomb for potential explosion on investment. And I would definitely make sure that if I were you, I would have a Master Beast. Alright, you get to resummon it, you get free bounceability off of it for what? Making sure that you have original prints of it. It is up on the chopping block for the reprint here, but I'm going to say the exact same thing I've been saying about cards like this. When you look at Ghost Girl hand traps, that first edition is what you're going to be wanting. Alright? So at this point in time, pay attention to the alpha. Alright? The card, like I said, I look at this card and I'm like, holy mother, you have so much potential. But it's only ever going to be a side deck card. Zodiac pretty much evolved in the TCG to not need it. To be fair, I guess that's also the speed of our format, really dictating that we didn't need to push towards playing alpha. And I understand that, but at the end of the day, you have one of the best cards for side decking that you could have ever had, and the card has only just been on a downward spiral. So I think we're heading towards the bottom out point. When you start to see that $20 price tag, you're like, oh. I also said that about when it was 30. I was like, oh, 30 bucks? Should probably make sure I have these at this point. And then it went even lower. I'm like, this is quite impressive, market. I see that you've bested me. Now, next up, we have some side deck choices here for our friends Virtual World. So the first one we're going to talk about here on this is going to be the Mischief of the Gnomes. Now, for those of you that are like, wait a minute, really Mischief, Robbie? Yeah, so evidently this card's been seeing a little bit more play as of recently. You basically just get to level down the monsters in your opponent's hand, even after they are summoned or set. And banish this card from your graveyard to reduce the level of all monsters in each player's hand by 1, so it actually will affect you as well, but that doesn't actually matter. Alright, so you basically, you get to mess up their big synchro plays. They haven't adapted to playing Herald yet. So this card is still pretty good for beating out the metagame, at least in that regard. So you can kind of handle that however you will. And then the other big one that we have in the side decking department for this is actually going to be Mr. Earth-Shattering Event. And I actually just kind of learned about this. This card's already kind of been disappearing. So if a card or cards is sent from the deck to the graveyard, target one card in either of the player's graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. Also, neither player can send cards from the deck to the graveyard for the rest of this turn. My biggest downside about this card is it's a continuous spell card, so they don't actually have to dump. Alright, the big thing with gnomes is you can trigger reveal it in the hand to mess them up, because it's a trap card. But just dropping Earth-Shattering Event on the field here basically is going to inconvenience them a little bit. I think I saw these at like $2 at this point in time. This card's from the World Superstar set, so you can get a reprint anytime. Same thing with Mischief, but they're side deck cards at the moment for trend. So as long as Virtual World is still kind of kicking around, these two cards are probably going to be around. Mischief more so than Earth-Shattering Events. And then the last card I want to talk about for this video is going to be the Torn Scales. As I'm making this video, I looked at Torn Scales and I saw that they were under the $20 mark. I was like, alright. So, Card's a Warrior card helps out in for Noble Knights, and it works on the dual-sided scale of Burning Abyss here. And it works in its own deck. So you have 3 decks right now that you put a Torn Scale Phantom Knight engine in, and you get the benefit out of. And this card is only $20? So, if you're planning on playing any of these sorts of decks, I don't think that this card is going to go too much higher. And it is on the chopping block for the reprint, but it's one of those things that's like, pay attention to this. Let's see where this is going. Let's kind of keep an eye on this, because the card is affecting, you know, so many different format structures here. I would genuinely probably pick these up so that you could have them to play. So don't be surprised if one day you're like, oh, Torn Scales is $25, but Bob or Robbie said we should have got it when it was 18. Should have probably got it when it was 18. So with everything that's shaping up, though, these are the things I would kind of pay attention towards right now. I would be like, alright, maybe we should probably pick up Adagnister and those original rarities so we can have them, so we can mess around with them, because If Robbie has faith in the deck, it seems like a lot of fun, man. So guys, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on more excellent content. And I will see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day for some more cool content. Peace out, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.